Right, so hello, welcome back to the channel. That is the most unbelievable Premier League game weekend you will ever watch. I mean, you can genuinely make about 4 or 5 different games a topic and talking point within its own right. I'm going to try and condense it all into one so that I don't oversaturate anything, but at the same time, it's just, there was so much that happened and it was bonkers. And before we get into that, if you're new around here, if you'd like to subscribe and share the video around, it helps the channel out immensely. We're trying to hit 300 subs as soon as possible. We're very close to that, so if you could subscribe and share, that would be great, but we'll get back into it. I mean, where else do you want to start except with Chelsea and Spurs? Because that game is the game of the year and it's a game for the ages. I mean, everything you want in a game, it had it. Goals, disallowed goals, VAR calls, red cards, 9 men, and the fact that Ange Postecoglou, he did the same thing when he was at Celtic. Didn't matter if he went down to 10 men, he would play the exact same way, and he did it in European nights as well. He's mental. And I know there's been a lot of controversy with VAR, especially in the past month or so with the Liverpool-Tottenham game and the Newcastle-Arsenal game, which I'll get on to that, but I actually think that every call was correct in the Chelsea-Tottenham game. Because Christian Romero, I've said it so many times and I will continue to say it, yes, he is a wonderful player and he could be at the level that Nemanja Vidic is at, but he's got no footballing IQ, his head loss is unbelievable, and he just kind of goes in and wants to hurt people. And why? Because the actual tackle that he puts on Enzo Fernandez, he doesn't need to follow through, he doesn't need to go in studs up, but he does it, and it costs his team because they give away a penalty, he gets sent off, and it didn't ruin the game from there because, I mean, Tottenham were cruising, but it ruined it from a Tottenham perspective at least. And Romero, for all the good he's done recently, he will cost you more points than he will actually get you. For Udogie, it's just a bit of inexperience. I mean, he's always got a rash tackle or two in him as well, but why are you sliding in like that when you're on a yellow card? I mean, Ange Postecoglou must have been telling him at halftime, don't do anything stupid. And then, bang, straight into the second half, right when it begins, bang, there you go, second yellow card, down to 9 men. And Spurs still played with such a high line. They still played the pressing football. Yes, they sat in a bit deep. And the back line, it was just so brilliant. It had Højbjerg and Eric Dyer at centre-back, Pedro Porro and Emerson Royal at full-back. That's the most squad battles FIFA team I've ever seen. And you know what? They were brilliant. Eric Dyer not played football in so long for Tottenham. He looked brilliant when he came on, and I don't have a bad word to say about the Tottenham performance. It was also just mental, the fact that out of the whole starting 10 outfield players for Tottenham, after about 60 odd minutes they made all their subs, and there was only 3 that were still on the pitch that actually started the evening. I think it was Son, Pedro Porro and Bissouma. That's unbelievable. Yeah, the 3-4 disallowed goals. I mean, at 2-1 as well, when Chelsea finally broke down Tottenham. Eric Dyer scoring that goal, you're thinking it's 2-2. Son in the 90th minute had a wonderful chance. A difficult chance, but a wonderful chance. And he drills it low, Sanchez saves it, and then Chelsea go up, score another 2 goals. Nicholas Jackson with the worst hat-trick in Premier League history. But hey, it's a hat-trick. You got to take those, and that'll get his confidence up. Not a great performance by Chelsea, but again, 4-1, it'll do them the world of good. It kind of leaves them in a weird position where I've never seen a team win 4-1 but look so poor in doing so. Vicario looked amazing. He looks like he's going to be a brilliant goalkeeper in the league, and yeah, just what a game. Speaking of that Newcastle-Arsenal game as well, let's move on to that one. And I have no issue with the Newcastle goal whatsoever, because I actually don't see how you can have a problem with the goal. The ball wasn't fully out, and I know people are going to use angles to say, well look, it's out there. The ball wasn't out. You look at it from a Hawkeye perspective, the ball is not fully gone. It's the same as the Japanese goal against Germany in the World Cup. The ball had not fully gone out, so there we go. That's one of the problems solved. Ball gets nicked in. it's not a foul either. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say it, Gabriel is useless. What is he actually good at? Because he's not a great defender. And yes, I know he's a big, strong guy. Joelinton's a big, strong guy. And there's a picture of him with two hands on the back, and everyone's saying, well, how is that not a foul? Because if you watch it in real time, he's jumped and he's gone to steady himself. It's not gone to push anyone in the back. He's gone to steady himself. Gabriel's gone down, making a mockery of the whole thing. That's your big, strong, bad centre-back. And what's he doing? Just flopping it on the floor like that. And then Anthony Gordon, he's not offside. So you've got three instances there. The ball's not out, it's not a foul, and he's not offside. So how can you say it's not a goal? And Mikel Arteta, Arsenal board, what are you doing? I mean, yes, the post-press conference afterwards, it's fine. I've got no issues with Mikel Arteta feeling hard done by, even though he shouldn't really. You lost, move on. But at the same time, I get it. You're going to fight for your players. You're going to try and make sure that everyone's against you. Whatever, that happens. And I like a bit of that, a bit of personality in a post-match press conference. It actually is quite refreshing and I enjoyed it. Bit of head loss, but that's fine. But then you look at the statement. Why are you going and giving out a statement after the match? You lost, move on, and just admit after the match, okay, the ball didn't go out. Okay, maybe the foul was a bit soft and it's not a foul. And then alongside that, he's onside. There's no reason for you to give out a statement. And as Gary Neville was saying as well, Arsenal, such a proud, historic club, it just makes you look petty and small, and I don't get it. If I was the FA, I wouldn't be having this. I get why Liverpool did it. Liverpool one was genuinely a mistake, and it was onside, and the goal should stand. I get why they give a statement after that. Arsenal, it's just an opinion on the foul. That's why you've given it. And it would have been such a soft foul if it was given and the correct decision was made at the end of the day. Move on. It's not a big deal. And we can't have clubs continuously who are feeling hard done by a subjective foul or not giving out statements, because it's a bad look. And in all honesty, if this sort of thing becomes the norm, the FA should just start to punish teams for it. Maybe not points deductions or anything, but heavy fines. And then if you do it 2, 3, 4 times, that's when you're starting to get points deduction, because you're wasting everyone's time on something that shouldn't be a factor. And alongside that, you've got Luton. Luton nearly beat Liverpool. Luton! I'll be honest, I only caught kind of the last 30 minutes of the game because I was watching this disgrace of a club getting absolutely outclassed in a cup semi-final where they showed zero heart, but I'm not going to get onto that. But, Luton, how on earth did they nearly nick a victory against Liverpool? And you've got Taif Chong scoring his first goal for Luton, running up the other end, putting it in the back of the net, and it was a great goal. And Kenilworth, it was going absolutely mental. I'm sure that Kenilworth dog as well was having a great time for it. But Diaz comes off the bench, saves Liverpool. Obviously a nice wee homage to his father who's still missing, and we all hope that gets sorted soon. But he comes off the bench, saves Liverpool a point, and it's just, I can't believe that is like a third talking point from the weekend. The fact that the smallest club maybe to have ever played in the Premier League nearly beat the second biggest club, however you really want to see it, in the English football game. It could have been one of the greatest results ever. With Tottenham losing as well, there is now no undefeated teams in the Premier League, and there's no teams without a win, because Sheffield United picked up their first win of the season, beating Wolves, and it was so dramatic because they scored in the 72nd minute. Bramall Lane, brilliant. The stadium as well is going mental. Then you've got in the 89th minute, Wolves go and score, and you're thinking, well, game's probably going to end up in a 1-1 draw. 100th minute penalty from Oliver Norwood. If you're going to win your first game, do so in a dramatic fashion, and there's none that are more dramatic than that. To score a penalty in the 100th minute, your nerves, and knowing that you've not won a game as well, the nerves, it's just unbelievable. And yeah, Sheffield United's getting their first win of the season. Great for them. Man City as well. They also smashed Bournemouth 6-1. And, you know, good for Bournemouth. Got a nice wee goal away at the Etihad. The mental fact that Man City scored 6 goals at home and Erling Haaland was playing and got none of them. None! He was captain of a fancy team. How did he not get one? And let's just talk about Jeremy Doku. I mean, when he was playing at the Euros, he was sort of that young player who came in for Belgium and he looked brilliant in there. And then World Cup, I mean, he had a very meh kind of World Cup. He's come into Man City for big money in an area to try and replace Riyad Mahrez. But it looks as well that he's replacing Jack Grealish and he is unbelievable. I mean, he got 4 assists and a goal as well. That's an unbelievable performance, and he is a brilliant winger. And I'm just going to say, he's probably a top 5 winger in the league already. I'll put it out there. I think he's brilliant. You've also got the Man United game that happened at the weekend, and look, you know, I was going to make a whole video on why Bruno Fernandes is a terrible captain, and I still stand by it. I think if you're talking about captain, not footballing ability, none of that, captain material, he is by far the worst in the league. Absolutely, he's woeful, right? He's not leading anyone. And Man United's biggest problem at the minute is they've got no leaders. Who on earth are you going to put as captain there? Because I don't think it should be Bruno Fernandes. And I'm looking at the other options. Of course, you've got Varane and so forth, but I mean, he's never fit. And apparently Bruno Fernandes is only captain, according to some people at my university, because he's always fit. But that's a terrible reason, because then you make him even more undroppable when he's not playing well, and he doesn't play well in the big games. Yes, I know he came up near the end of the game, got the goal against Fulham, kind of saved them a bit there. Obviously, the McTominay goal was given as offside. People wondering, how was that given as an offside? Maguire didn't touch the ball. No, you're right, he didn't touch the ball, but he interfered with play because he went for the ball. That's the difference. He actually went for it, and then he didn't get it, and then the ball gets put back across McTominay scored. I mean, it's not difficult to see why it was offside. But again, the performance isn't good, and, you know, Fulham are a fine team at the minute, but I mean, they were saying stats before the game even happened. The fact that, you know, in the last 18 games, Man United have beaten them like 15 odd times or whatever. But I mean, it's not a difficult place to go. The last time they lost there, I'm pretty sure Zoltan Gira was playing. So it's not a difficult place for Man United. They scored late. They did the same last season when Garnacho got his first goal. And, you know, there is so much to be done. There's so many problems at Man United. They're just a mid-table side. Yeah, that is the most unbelievable Premier League game week you will ever see. It's not going to be topped anytime soon, and I guarantee you that. Thank you so much for watching the video as well. I really appreciate it. And if you could like, share, subscribe, share the video around, it would be brilliant. Thank you so much, and yeah, cheers.